Harper and Harper Audio present Mr. Grieves and the Grievous Deeds by Matt Lieberman, performed by Caitlin Kelly. For Maya and Violet. Almost 30 years ago, on a late October night, Detective James Alvarez was finishing the Saturday crossword puzzle when he got the call about the fire.
"You need to get over here and see this,"
said a nervous Captain Taylor on the other end.
"What's a 5-letter word for without delay?"
James asked, distracted by the Saturday crossword.
365 North Haven Street. Pronto,
said the fire marshal. Then he hung up.
Pronto is 6 letters,
James muttered to himself, tossing the newspaper on his desk. You couldn't fault James for not taking the call too seriously. He had been a detective for the Center Grove Police Department for only 3.5 years, during which there had been exactly 0 interesting cases. It was a sleepy town, where new detectives like him put in their time before getting called up to the big city, which was where all the exciting crimes happened. So the detective was truly surprised when he arrived at the corner lot of the suburban street and saw that the house that had once stood there, a house he had probably driven past 100 times, had burned down to the slab. The structure and everything inside it had been reduced to ash, and the whole fire department was standing around it, kind of dumbfounded.
"How long did it take to put it out?"
James asked Captain Taylor.
"It was like this when we arrived,"
he answered in a daze.
5 minutes after we got the call."
That was when James noticed the hoses hadn't even been hooked up to the street hydrant. There wasn't a drop of water on the ground, and come to think of it, not even a hint of smoke hung in the air. There was only a perfect circle around where the house used to be. Everything inside the circle was charred black, while the grass and flowers outside it remained totally unharmed. James knew none of this was normal or even possible. But what really wasn't natural was what he saw in the center of the circle. What all the other police officers and firefighters were presently gawking at. There, in the middle of the first floor of what used to be a 2-story house, was an 8-year-old girl sitting on a rocking chair. She had dark, curly hair, a purple dress, and cherubic face, none of which was marred by a single smudge of dirt. The girl was rocking back and forth while casually humming a song that James couldn't quite place, which made the whole scene even creepier. She had one foot up on a large aluminum gas can and held a lit match in her right hand that she waved playfully in front of her eyes. When the match burned down to her fingers, she blew it out, flicked it into the darkness, and lit another. Instead of rushing in to help, the first responders all kept a safe distance from the child. Their training had not prepared them for adorable girls playing with potential explosives in the center of inexplicably burned-down houses.
"Who is she?"
James asked, only to be answered by the blank stares of 21 or so truly confused men and women. Captain Taylor shrugged and motioned with his head, encouraging James to go over and find out. It felt more like a dare than a suggestion. Both fascinated and intimidated, James approached the girl slowly. When he got within a few feet of where she sat, he was immediately put off by the way she didn't even acknowledge him. It was almost as if she was on a different plane of existence altogether, like a reflection or a ghost.
"Excuse me, sweetheart,"
James finally asked, trying to keep things as calm and casual as he could muster.
"Are you all right? Do I need to call a doctor? What exactly happened here?"
A few silent seconds hung in the air until the girl finally looked up, as if she had just noticed him. Then she stared the detective dead in the eyes and said something he would never forget for the rest of his life. "Mr.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?